it's Zena, Warthog Princess, and this video is talking about Vera Bradley and vocabulary, terms, definitions, things like that. And this was requested by Nicole, who specifically asked for, what's the difference between factory and retail, and where do you find what, and what's the best times to buy, etc. So it's going to be a much bigger answer than that, but it is some of the questions that I do get in here and there, and some thoughts that I just kind of threw together. So we've got a lot of pages of terms, but this will go mostly very quickly because some of them are just common sense. These are, by the way, my own personal thoughts. They are not from Vera or by Vera. It's just about Vera. So these are just my own thoughts. So they're not the black and white, written in stone, Anyway, so here goes. I kind of grouped them into categories. The category is not important, but they're not alphabetical or anything like that. So loungewear, what's loungewear? Well, that's all your pajamas, sweats, cozy pants, things like that. There's tops, there's leggings, there's some shorts, those kind of things. There's all kind of just clumped under loungewear or in a broader category of apparel. So in case you're wondering what that is. Sometimes when we talk about collection, the word collection, like yes, I have a collection, so I might show you the whole collection in a video, which we've done in the storage. Or we might look at a portion of a collection, like let's look at the lilac medallion collection, that kind of thing. But in a broader sense, on the Vera side, when they say they're having a sale, for example, we just came off of recently, the beach sale maybe. So all the beach category, the beach collection was on sale. So it kind of helps to know what some of those things might be in those various different collections. So that's kind of why we'll get into some of that on here. Socks. Now, obviously you know what socks are, but just FYI, they have a lot of different types of socks. They have crew socks, compression socks, cozy socks, slipper socks, liners, those little booty socks, things like that. So a lot of different options. They have a swimwear collection, a lot of different styles and shapes and sizes and patterns. Some one piece, some two piece. You can buy separates, like the top of one and the bottom of another, and mix and match. They also have cover-ups and flip-flops and things like that as well. So that might all be, for example, in the swimwear collection, even though it's a little bit broader definition. Eyewear, there's three different things. You got prescription eyewear, which you can't buy that at Vera stores, but a lot of eyewear places do have it. You can look online on the Vera website and dig down into the links at the bottom, and you can find what retailers do prescription eyewear with Vera Bradley. Oftentimes those do come with their own little case too, which is really cool. Then they have the readers, which are just over-the-counter magnification strengths, and you can choose your strength with Vera Bradley. You can buy those online. They now have them at the outlets as well, so both retail and outlet side. So you can find those just about any Vera retailer. And then sunglasses. In both the readers and the sunglasses, they come in different styles, so different shapes, different, size of lenses, different, widths, different types of frames, all of that. So big category for all three of those is eyewear, obviously. So, all right, flip-flops. Okay, flip-flops. Everybody knows what a flip-flop is, right? Like growing up, we called those thongs, and I think I've said it before on other videos about flip-flops, but so it's confusing to me when someone said flip-flop. That to me was what like Vera calls the slides, where it's just that one broad midfoot and everything just slides in and your toes stick out. That to me was a flip-flop. They call them slides. So what I called thongs and flip-flops, they call flip-flops and slides. But as long as you know what you're talking about, you'll see them, and when you see them, they are what they are. They also have rain boots and other shoes. They have some that look like Vans, that are slip-on, like Vans style. They have espadrilles, multiple different colors, and some embroidery on the top, really fun pattern. They have, obviously, the flip-flops and slides, and rain boots. They have rain boots. They also had a Crocs collaboration, so several different styles of Crocs that you could get with Vera Bradley. And that's pretty much it for footwear. Except for slippers. So another footwear category. A lot of different types of slippers over the, I would say even just in the last 7-8 years, there's at least 5-6 or more different kinds of slippers. There's the cozy slippers, which are like the little footy ones that are Sherpa lined, and they kind of are like a thick sock that just is over your foot. It doesn't go up your ankle or anything. They do have the hard soled or semi-rigid soled booties that are either knit or other that you can put on like a little ankle boot. They have slip-ins of different styles. Yeah, a lot of different types of slippers. Bedding. This would go under the home collection. Home collection would be like all your bedding and towels and stationery and like odds and ends kinds of things like that. And if you want to look at what those collections are, when you go to Vera's website, across the top, each of those is kind of a collection or category. But bedding, they have quilts, comforters, they do have sheets, they have the throws, they have cozy throws, they have quilted throws, they have a lot of different variations and combinations of all of those on both the factory and the outlet side variations. Then they have towels also. So beach towels, but they also have under the home collection, they have shower curtains, shower mat, you know, like floor mats, and like sets of bath towels. So totally different thing, but that would be under the home collection as well. In addition, they have things like casserole carriers, drinkware, I forget what you call those, plates, the decorative plates under your plates, or even just a serving plate, decorative plates. They've got placemats and napkins and other table settings. They have a lot of different kinds of drinkware. So that would all be under home as well. They also under home have sometimes, not all the time, but they'll have things like the underbed storage bag or variations of storage bags that are usually lighten up material, and they can use like zip around, and they're usually rectangular cubes. So those are great. I store my blankets in a lot of those actually. Okay, so that's it for that. And then going onwards, like on the outlet side, their backpack collection, they're called the Essential. So in size, they have the compact Essential. The Essential is like your regular size, and then they have a large Essential. So those are just the names that they use to call their backpacks. On the retail side, they're different. Like they have the Grand backpack, the Campus backpack, you know, some other names, but on the outlet side, they're either cotton or lighten up, and they could be all of those 3 sizes in both materials. Travelers, again, on the outlet side, like your travel type bags, your basic travel bags, which would be kind of like the Weekenders on the retail side. On the outlet side, they're called travelers. You have a compact traveler, medium traveler, regular traveler, large traveler. You know, I think they have a grand traveler as well. So kind of 3 or 4 different sizes in their spectrum, and they're all slightly different configurations. On the retail side, you have your Weekenders. So you have your compact Weekender, your lighten up Weekender, your deluxe Weekender. Those are all the same size, but different configurations and different stitching, that kind of thing. And then you have your grand Weekender, which is the biggest of all the travel bags, really. So there's your option. There are other travel bags in other parts, but that's kind of your Weekenders on both sides. So your outlet versus retail, look at that. Then you have your Expandable collection. There aren't that many items that I know of in this particular thing, but recent ones that I've looked at or talked about or seen. They have an expandable tote on the retail side, which is not currently out as the retired style, I think. I haven't seen it in a while, but there's an older one that is like 3 sections as you look at it, and it is a horizontal zipper, so it expands like this. And then there's a newer version, and these are both lighten up, that if this was the tote, it zipped around vertically and expanded this direction. So 2 different ways. One was vertical and one was horizontal. Those are there. And then right now they have brand new item on the factory side or the outlet side, and that's an interchangeable term, really, factory or outlet, and retail or mainline, that kind of thing. We'll get to that later, but they have an expandable travel laundry bag, and so it's a thinner nylon, and the middle section is a vertical expansion. You unzip it, and then that section becomes like a mesh expansion section. That's really cool, actually. I'm looking at getting one of those for traveling laundry. All right, Beach collection. Things that might be commonly grouped into the beach collection when the beach stuff goes on sale. You got your flip-flops, beach towels, picnic blanket, cooler tote, hats, swimwear, lotion bag, drawstring family tote, large family tote, any floating accessories. Like there's a, I think it's Shore Thing or Sea Life. I saw it on Paper Store the other day or somewhere. And a foldable chair might be in the beach collection as well. Then you got your Clearly collection, not connection. Your Clearly stadium bags. So it's like your clear plastic backpacks and crossbodies and things like that. A collaboration. That's another collection of itself. It's sort of a collection of collections. So currently we have the Sean Johnson collaboration, which is some of the Star Power stuff, the sports backpack, stuff like that, and the sports ditty. Then there is like a Starbucks collaboration that was in Asia. It was a really pretty pattern. Then there was New Hope Girls collaboration. There was, what other collaborations have we had lately? Well, Disney is always a collaboration. Harry Potter coming out this week. That's a collaboration with Universal. Crocs collaboration. So those are just like, Venus did a collaboration with Vera for razors. And by the way, someone sent me a picture. There is a new pattern out, or newer. So there was like a blue or teal razor. Now they're pink and there's a different pattern. I actually like it better anyway, so I might have to go to Target. Those are at Target, and you can get those as well. And they're the same price as regular Venus, but they have pretty patterns on them from Vera. Collaboration. Okay. Also, on collaborations, they usually don't have any discounts, no coupons, no sales, pretty much. Now, occasionally, you can sometimes catch a random thing on those. Like now, some of the Disney stuff online on the Disney site is going on sale, things like that. But that's uncommon, and so assume there's no deals, but there may be one. So unless it specifically says, then it wouldn't be included. All right, we talked about collection. Cozy. If we say cozy, cozy is a descriptive term for Vera stuff. And cozy to me, like instantly when I hear cozy, I think Sherpa, which is not 100% the answer, but pretty consistently. Like your cozy throws, those are the Sherpa sided ones. Your double cozy or whatever it's called from the outlet side, that's 2 Sherpa sides. Your cozy slippers have Sherpa lining. Your cozy robes have Sherpa inside. So it's pretty consistent with that. Cozy slippers are Sherpa lined, but the cozy socks are not Sherpa lined, but they are super soft. So I just think cozy. That's like for me, my squeezable softness. That's cozy to me. All right, just my experience anyway. Custom collection. So this is, you go online and you can pick certain styles of bags, not 100% of the inventory, but you have a pretty good selection. You pick your bag, you pick your interior pattern, your exterior pattern, your trim, your certain options within it. You can change the configurations of it. It's really cool. But those are almost entirely, I've never seen a deal on those. No sale, no discount, no coupons, nada. Not even your birthday coupon, by the way. So that magical coupon doesn't even work on those. They are expensive, but they are worthwhile. There are some patterns that are only available and have only ever been available via the custom option. And that's where, for example, like I have a Vera tote and a Carson, custom Carson. They're both in Java purple. Java blue came out as a pattern, and it's a recoloration of that pattern, but it never came out in Java purple. So the only way to get it is custom. So something to think about. And they keep adding to that. They change the patterns, they change the styles, they change the options. You pick your trim, you pick everything. So it's really, it's a cool thing, but it's quite pricey. So it's kind of a turn off in that regard. Then there's limited or special edition. Now that's something like the Pat Miller collection, which was a Miller bag and a travel cosmetic type thing. That was just a 2-item collection, but that was a special or limited edition. Another example of limited edition would be like the QuiltCon patterns. There was one in a cloud vine patchwork, and there was one before that was more of a purple mix the year before. So those are all limited edition kind of things. Usually also on those, no deals, no sales, no coupons, no discounts, etc. Another collection is the medical professional collection. Now that is items, it's a select subset of various things, like there's a tote and a backpack, and I think there's a zip ID, and there's some other things like a lunchbox. They're designed with medical professionals in mind, but they are available to everyone. You can buy them. In fact, I bought a couple of items. I'll try and attach a link here, so if you want to see a couple of those items I did get. Again, no sales, no discounts, no nothing. But they do have some good design features, which are great, that I really, really liked. And there was a pattern that was only available in that collection that wasn't available anywhere else. So I took advantage of that and was able to acquire that as well. So you'll see that one in the link that I just put. Packables. Packable collection, so you have a packable tote, a duffel, an extra large duffel, a weekender. I think that's it for packables. And what they are is they're like a thinner material, kind of like, it's almost like the Midtown material, but without any of the quilting or lining or padding or anything. It's just the straight material. There's no double layers or linings or anything. They're generally a simpler bag, not a lot of extra pockets. There are some pockets and organization, but they're pretty simple. They're very simple, they're very lightweight, and they fold up into a small, like little pouch, usually. So varying sizes, but they work really well for traveling or keeping them in your car to get groceries, things like that. They're great. So that's packables. Pet collection. They have beds. In the past, they've had leashes, collars, dog carriers, cat carriers, whatever. Most recently, they've had pet beds, pet blanket in a bag. What else do they have in the pet collection? Not a lot, really. But over the years, they've had ins and outs with that. So there are other things available. And hopefully they're coming back with some of that again, because I'd love to see some like leashes and collars and maybe even some doggy clothes. I don't know, maybe not a lot, but we'll see. Travel Takes collection. This is a small items that are designed with travel in mind. They are not exclusively for travel. I use them all the time as little organization pieces, either in my travel stuff or in my daily purse and whatnot. This collection includes like the Travel Takes case, which is a little small barrel purse type thing, which I just recently did a video comparing that to the little mini satchel from the factory side. And I'll put a link to that here so you can see that as well. But that's just kind of a pretty simple bag. The Travel Takes also includes like the contacts. Actually, I have it here. Hang on. I was doing a video earlier. So Travel Takes, some of the items are your manicure kits. Those are Travel Takes collection. Your contacts case, your clear razor, your clear toothbrush roll, your clear tech case. Those are all Travel Takes. Your little eye mask for travel, that's Travel Takes. You got a hair accessories kit. I think that's included in that. And there's a few other items, but those are the kinds of things, like the little accessory pieces for travel. Washables. Now, in theory, every bit of Vera is washable one way or another, but a lot of it is spot wash. When they say washable, that actually means that you should be able to take that item and put it into the washer, through the washer and dryer. So some Vera you can do that and some you can't. Some it doesn't recommend it, but doesn't mean you can't. I mean, it's up to you to take those risks, but some of it are designed for that purpose. Coordinating. If I say coordinating, that just means it's like for example, the older style Vera, that you'd have your external pattern, your interior pattern, and then you'd have a coordinating trim on the outside that was different than both, but coordinated and kind of tied it all together. That's what I mean by coordinating trim. Along those lines, speaking of coordinating or whatever, when I say matchy-matchy, mixy-matchy, or mixy-mixy, what I'm talking about, what I've always been talking about, is if I say matchy-matchy, that is like the bag and all the accessories are all the same pattern. Or I might do mixy-matchy, which is maybe it's not the same pattern, but the colors kind of go together. So for example, a bunch of different black and white patterns, they go really nicely together, but that's a mixy-matchy. So they match, but they're not a perfect match, so it's a mixy-matchy. These are just my made-up words. I know other people have used them as well. And then mixy-mixy is, I'm sorry, before I go on to mixy-mixy, other way you can talk about either mixy-matchy or matchy-matchy, I would consider if an item is, let's say cotton, and it has a lighten up version, and it's a slightly different pattern. You could call that matchy matchy, or you could call it mixy matchy, just whatever you want. For me, I call that mixy matchy because to me matchy matchy is same, and mixy matchy is coordinating. They go together, but they're not exactly the same. So for what that's worth. I know I kind of throw those terms around all the time, but I think people understand what I'm saying, but I don't always know. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, mixy, that is completely random. Things may or may not go together at all. You might have one bag with 6 items in 6 different prints. And that's another thing we call pattern palooza, which, hey, KG, that one's for you. I think she coined that term. But yeah, and sometimes the pattern palooza is wonderful. Like if you can break away. When I first started with Vera, I was all about the matchy, and I bought full sets of all these different things, and it's really not, it's not possible to keep that up, especially when you start to collect for all these years and collect like I do. So I started to open up my mind a little bit and open up myself to the option of the mixy matchy. And now sometimes I frankly purposefully mixy and just go crazy. Because sometimes there's an accessory that you just really want, that particular accessory, and the pattern you have it in doesn't match what you're trying to use it with. So you just go with pattern palooza. Anyway, enough about that. All right, fabrication. When I say a certain fabrication, when you're talking about any given bag, you have the style of bag, that's the shape and size and type, a name of bag, like the Vera tote, for example. That is a style. And that style of bag might come in multiple different fabrications. You might get that bag in cotton, microfiber, reactive, lighten up, performance twill. It might be leather. So that would be what we say fabrication is, what material or fabric is being used, so fabrication of it. So same style in different fabrications and also in different patterns and or colors. So that's what we're talking about. Speaking of fabrications, other fabrications, so you got cotton, microfiber, performance twill, lighten up, reactive, midtown, puffy, frill, silky, leather, clear, your plastics, your vinyl, PVC, all of those things. Preppy poly was another one. And your pearls, your metallic fabric that has like a pearl-esque metallic look to it. So those are the ones that I thought of off the top of my head. There are probably others, but those are the ones I know of. We already talked about plastics. Your vinyls and PVCs and plastics, they might be clear, they might be milky, they might be printed or stamped or painted. Yeah, there's a variety, and it's usually little tidbits here and there. The most recent clear stuff that came out in the travel takes with like the razor and the tech case, clear tech case and all that had like a glittery clear. So it was see-through, but it had a little glittery to it. So again, a lot of different ways that the plastics come out. If someone's talking about Vera Bradley Buzz, that is a Facebook group. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Yeah, they're strict on the rules though, so if you break them, you're banned for life. Vera Bradley Insiders. We talk about the insiders. You might have heard people talking about or referring to this insiders or focus group. This is a group of people that Vera invited in, and we all did a survey. I don't know how they chose who they sent it to, or I don't even know. But from the survey results, then they went ahead and invited some people in, and we started with like 1,920, I think, and the numbers dropped, and then they're coming back up. So if you're interested in that, feel free to contact Vera and ask about it. But I do think if you go on Vera Bradley's website and you scroll down, there's a link down there that says, do you want to be an insider or something like that? If you click on that, I think, this is a rumor, but I heard that is one way to let them know that you are interested in being an insider. So give that a whirl and see where that takes you. That's all I can tell you. But that is a group that is definitely, it's like marketing and market research. So we do surveys, we talk, that's kind of thing. And it's basically just a bunch of Vera loving people. And we just talk about Vera all day, every day, just like anywhere else. A lot of great groups on Facebook as well. Vera Bradley Chat and some other ones. Just find yourself a nice group of codependent people that are going to inspire more purchases, and yeah, it's fun. All right, if we say compare, we're talking about comparing A and B type items. We're just looking at the differences and similarities. We're talking about a haul. That is something like I've gone shopping, for example, and I've come back with a bunch of items. That is my haul. So we'll talk about that versus an unboxing, versus a collection, versus a review. I think those terms all kind of explain themselves. What's in my bag? Yeah, everybody kind of knows that by definition. Lately, I've had a lot of requests and a very, very positive response to doing transitions with that, meaning that I kind of walk you through the process of how did I pick the pieces or what fits where, and kind of just stepping through. So I will continue to share those, and if you have a specific bag that you would like to see what's in my bag or how it stacks or what fits, then by all means, just zap me a quick remark down below and I will add it to the list, and happy to share those with you. Sizes, so size terms, kind of in the spectrum of things. Vera has mini, small, compact, medium, large, extra large, grand. And so kind of from little to big, those are the terms. There are other terms, but those are kind of the main ones, and they kind of make sense. So where do you buy Vera? You can buy Vera at the retail store. So Vera Bradley mainline retail stores. You have to go online and find where those locations are. My nearest is like 2 hours and 45 minutes away, up in Scottsdale. You got the outlet stores or the factory stores. Those are, again, all over, but just depends. You can go online and find those locations as well. We have one in Arizona, and it's just over 2 hours away. Then we have third-party resellers. Or not third-party resellers. We have, before we get to them, we have authorized retailers. So you've got online, again, go to Vera Bradley's website, find a store, and you can find those retailers. It's a lot of like boutiques and Hallmark type stores, little shops, gift shops like that. There are a lot of campus bookstores sometimes will be an authorized retailer. Dillard's, Macy's, AFES, like your BX and PX is an authorized retailer. So all these different options for that. And then you have your third-party resellers like Amazon, eBay, Poshmark, Zulily. Well, I don't know, Zulily's might just be an authorized retailer, I don't know. But so all of these options. I mean, a lot of different places you can get it. In addition, kind of a bridge between the retail and the factory, Vera puts on about every month. In fact, we're due for one like now. so check over the next day or two. You should be getting a notification for an online outlet sale. And just go to outlet.verabradley.com. And if the sale is open, it'll pop up with the sale, and you just input your email and start shopping. Or if it's not open, like right at the moment, it's not open, but you can sign up, give them your email so that they will notify you when it does open up. And so that's cool. But those, they do have both retail and outlet items in there. It's usually the items that are retiring or clearance and whatnot. So it's probably the best deals you're going to find on it. The other place to go is the annual outlet sale in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and that takes place in mid-April. This year it was postponed because of COVID, unfortunately, but it will take place again in April of 2021. So that's very exciting. And the tickets are not on sale yet, but you can go to the Vera webpage and scroll down, and there's a link for it, and you can look at the dates, and it'll tell you when the sales will open up. All right, if we talk about exclusives. For example, Dillard's sometimes gets exclusive patterns. Their most recent one was Kerala elephants, meaning that I can't go to a Vera store and get that pattern. I can't get it anywhere else except at Dillard's, but it is Vera Bradley, and it's actually a very beautiful pattern in this, sometimes yeah. So if you don't have a Dillard's does have them online as well, so you still can get them. But exclusives, yeah. Paper Store has some exclusives. Their most recent that I'm aware of was the Beach Toil, which was a kind of northeastern scenes. Yeah. Other ones, Dragon Fruit Floral from Dillard's was a recent one. QVC used to have exclusive patterns, and then all of the Disney ones are exclusive. They used to only be available either at the park or at the Disney store or the Disney Springs Vera store. But because of COVID closures and whatnot, they did do the last release on Vera Bradley's website. And now they actually have on the Disney online, you can buy Vera Bradley Disney stuff there as well. So now, thankfully, they've opened it up a little bit. Usually, no deals, no sales, no coupons on those, but like they've opened that up for Disney, which is great. All right, we talked about factory style. Used to be at one time that items basically came from the main line, and then as they were retiring, they kind of would shift down to the factory, and they might have a couple additional factory styles or twists to them or slightly different construction with the same basic pattern. But now they've kind of shifted. It's almost two completely independent lines. Now, that being said, there is still some crossover, and they do still have retail stuff that goes on clearance at the factory or outlet. But if you say factory style versus retail or mainline, they're divergent. So the same bag might have a different name, like the triple zip hipster is, I think, the trio hipster or something like that. Similar, but and it's basically the same bag but different name on different sides. So it's a little confusing if you're trying to order from the outlet on the phone because you don't live near a store and you don't have a website to see their name, so you kind of just have to explain, and hopefully the person on the other end knows what you're talking about and can help you figure it out. It's kind of a challenge. I wish that Vera would put, you don't have to be able to buy it online, but put the styles and patterns. They did start putting patterns, but the list is not all inclusive. It's not updated either. But it is something, so you can see some of those patterns, but I wish that they would just put an archive, like put on there an like you have your retail patterns, your retired retail patterns, your factory patterns, and your factory styles, like what are those names and what's the equivalent Vera one. That would be awesome. And then what are your exclusives? Like, where do I find them? Like, if, for example, I saw someone or I saw a Corral Elephants Vera Bradley bag and I wanted to go buy one, tell me where I can go find that, because then I'll buy it. But if I can't find it, I can't buy it. So those are my thoughts on that. All right. Outlet retail signature. If someone says signature, that is, again, synonymous with retail or mainline signature store, factory or outlet style. We already talked about sources. All right. Other terms are just types of styles, like a category of styles, like backpack. And if I say backpack, that might include 10 different kinds of backpacks. You got belt bags, you got case, convertible, cooler, crossbody, ditty, foldable, hard side, soft side, luggage, obviously. If someone says iconic, that is a period, let's say a period of Vera where they were labeling everything iconic. I think it was like all the rave of a term. But there was differences. Like if I did a campus backpack or an iconic campus backpack, there was a difference. The main key difference for me that I always keyed in on was if it said iconic, it's going to have that awful metal zipper. So that to me was like what iconic meant. It meant it's going to have that zipper. And the same is true for like some of the handbags. If it said iconic, it was going to have some of that. That is no longer the case because one, they've dropped the word iconic now. And you still see it come up a little bit, but it's not like everything is iconic. And those zippers are going away. So yay! Very, very happy about that. Okay. So that's iconic. I mean, it's not really a defined word, but that's kind of the thing. Another key difference was like if the cosmetic bags, for example, a large cosmetic used to just be like, here, let's see. It used to be just a plain bag. Like this is a medium one, but it used to just be a bag like this, very simple. But the iconic added a front zipper pocket on it. So it was different in a lot of cases, but not consistently. All right. You might have a pouch, a purse. If an item is retired, that does not mean it's not available. It just means that it could be on sale online, for example, or in a store, or it could be beyond that and retired further back. It might show up in the online outlet sale. You might be able to get it at the factory side on clearance, the retail stuff that goes over there for clearance. You might also find it in the online outlet sale and the annual sale Other than that, your best offer or option is to go to those authorized retailers who sometimes have stock that Vera no longer does have available. And then again, you've got your third-party resellers, which a lot of times can be new with tags. So you never know. Good luck with that. Rolling, RFID, these are just descriptive terms. Satchel or a set, shoulder bag versus crossbody bag. A sling, pretty self-explanatory again. Spinner versus a rolling bag. So the difference there, if you're not familiar, a rolling bag has, like if you have 4 corners, here's the 4 corners at the bottom of your bag, a roller will have wheels there, and so you just roll it with your handle, pulling it on 2 wheels. But a spinner would have it on all 4 corners, and they rotate 360, so you can take your bag and, you know, drive it any which way. Style, we already talked about. Tote, trio. If it talks about a trio, it's sold as a set or sold as a trio. A trio is 3. So like the triple cosmetic or the cosmetic trio, that is a factory specific thing, factory style, but that comes as 3 little pouches, 3 different sizes. You can get the pencil pouch trio. That is, I never saw it on Vera really, but you could get them at the paper store, and you can definitely get them on Amazon and some other places. But those were the pencil pouch trio, so trio's 3. A set is like 4 or more, so usually the set will have 4, like the 4-piece cosmetic set. If someone says vintage, this is one of those terms that almost everybody has a different notion of what it means to them. To me, if I say vintage, to me vintage is like made in the USA, Vera. I sometimes stretch that to older Vera. It's not quite truly vintage in my opinion, but some of the older patterns that did have all those details, coordinating trims, things like that, the good quality construction, some of those maybe could be considered vintage as well. And it all depends on who you ask. But to me, if I say vintage, I most likely mean it's made in the US. I only have a couple of vintage items. I have some Lures Black. I have a medium duffel and a small duffel or a duffel purse, and maybe one other item I can't think right now, but yeah, so not a lot. And then wallet or wristlet. So a wallet is a wallet, but a wristlet can be a wristlet or a wallet. You just take the wristlet strap off or not. So interchangeable terms, but I'm a precise, words used precisely kind of person, and I do misspeak sometimes. So usually if you hear me say something that you're like, that's not right, check the remarks, because I may or may not know that I made a mistake, but when I did the review before I posted it, it just wasn't worth refilming everything, so I just alibi in the remarks. But if I don't, and you catch something, please do let me know, because I don't want to be spreading wrong information ever. And so just let me know, that'd be great. I appreciate that. But anyway, that is it for this one. 38 minutes of vocabulary as I see it for Vera Bradley. Yeah, so just threw it together and hope that helps. And Nicole, if that doesn't answer your questions, please do give me a holler. But hope you're all doing well, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye for now. Washi washi.